Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. I'm here today ranking all of the Batman Arkham suits from, of course, the Batman Arkham games. And we're going in timeline order, not release order. We're starting off with Arkham Origins, then we'll get into Arkham Asylum, which I think is only 2 suits in there, Arkham City, and then, of course, Arkham Knight. And we're going to go through each suit and rank them out of 10. Of course, 10 being the best, 0 being the worst. And we're going specifically on the looks of the suits in the games. Not so much the suits overall in terms of like their comic introductions, all that. We're talking about specifically how they look in game. So this video was actually recorded by another YouTuber. I'll link in the top description. Credit to them for recording this video. And this was recorded a couple years ago, so I think there actually is a couple more suits in Arkham Knight that were added. I know specifically the Battinson suit from, of course, the Batman was added in. I don't think this is included in here, but regardless, I'm excited. We're going to dive in here and we're going to rank the suits, and we're just going to talk about them briefly. So without further ado, let's get to now. Let's check it out. Okay, starting off, of course, with the original Batman Arkham Origins suit. I think this is a great start. Yes, it's a traditional bat suit in terms of its design. It's not too crazy, but I think it's a great start, and I like the actual damage on the armor as well. And it really fits in line with the other Batman Arkham games in terms of the first suits you get when you start those games. This really falls in line with that. So for me, I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10. I think this is a great start. I'm going to go with an 8. For sure. Blackest Night. I'm not going to lie to you, this suit is freaking awesome. And the adaptation to the actual game, I think it really worked. I really have no notes. Now, personally for me, like, I've always liked this suit, but it's not like one of my favorite Batman suits ever. But in terms of how they adapted it to make it look here, and of course Bruce's face being changed a little bit, because of course he's undead. 8.5 out of 10, honestly. 8.5 for me. I think it's a little bit of a higher bat suit. Long Halloween. I love blue and gray on Batman. It's not traditional in terms, black and gray, but the blue and gray, I've always had a special love for that. And hopefully, James Gunn, if you're listening, in the DCU, we'll get blue and gray. I'm hoping, but I don't know if we will, but maybe at some point. The one thing I'll say, though, even though I love blue and gray and I think this looks really cool, the trunks, I wish were a little bit different, like the look of them, because it does look kind of strange in the picture here and the actual, like, turnaround shot. I wish the trunks were look slightly different. Other than that, I think the suit's awesome, but we're going to go with a 7.5 because the trunks, not the best look. Red Sun, not really much to say on this. Really cool they added this into the game. I'm going to go with 8 out of 10. I think the adaptation worked really well. And yeah, I mean, no real notes to say on this. I just thought it's interesting direction in terms of a bat suit. But yeah, Gotham by Gaslight. I love this suit. No question about it. I'm going to get 8.5. 8.5. Gotham by Gaslight. This suit crushes. And I just love the way it looks in the game. Like, obviously, in the comics, when they first introduced this, I'm like, this is so cool. Like, it's what you'd expect from a bat suit. But in terms of the timing of when that story takes place, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But 100% love this suit. 52 graphic. Okay. So it's decent. I don't have really anything negative to say. I just think it's a very basic bat suit. It's not one I love particularly. I would say 7.5 as well out of this. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really stand out as like a suit that I think I would like want to see Batman in if I'm reading a story. Like, obviously it's based off the new 52 graphic, but it's okay. It's okay. It's not bad. This is where I think we're getting into some interesting territory. So Batman Noel. So the one thing that I really liked about this is the cape is pretty cool. I like the fact that the bat symbol actually blends into the cape itself. Like, I really like that design. The chest piece, the ridges and stuff, a little strange, but I think it overall works. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Like, it's a nice variation in terms of the bat symbol and all of that and the cape design. So yeah, Batman 1 million. Now, this is pretty freaking cool. Now, my only thing about this is, obviously, we're talking about adaptation, how it looks in the game itself, not so much with the comics. The belt, I don't know, I wish maybe they would have maybe altered the belt a little bit. Obviously, they're trying to adapt from the comics and try to make it as lifelike in a sense in terms of how it would look in the game. But the belt looks just a little basic in terms of the look of it. But in terms of, like, everything else, it's pretty cool. I'll honestly give it an 8 out of 10. I really like the design of Batman 1 million. Okay, Dark Knight of the Round Table. So this is just Batman, of course, in medieval times with a armored, basically just taking an armor piece and adding a bat logo over it. It's decent. I'm not really a big fan of the look overall. Like, I understand it's a suit from the comics. Give it a 7. Like, it doesn't really stand out. It looks kind of clunky in some spots. Like, it looks kind of just, I don't know. Maybe they could have tweaked it a little bit to make it a little bit more interesting because it looks kind of strange. Thrill Killer Batman. I don't remember this suit. I don't remember this. I don't know where this exactly came from, but okay, Thrill Killer Batman. Okay. Honestly, I like the more pronounced yellow. It looks kind of like an orange as well, especially in the belt. Looks more like a kind of really dark orange in a sense, in terms of like it's kind of a yellowish orange. I'll say, you know what? This is a 7.5. Maybe teetering on maybe 8. Like, I really like the color. Like, the color of the symbol and the belt really elevated. I think the cowl overall is fine, but I think I really like the pronounced colors. That's really standing out to me. So, okay. It's pretty solid. The Dark Knight. So, of course, pulling from the Dark Knight, I think there are some tweaks that they've made to the suit to make it look a little bit different. I don't think this is the exact Dark Knight suit from the movie. It's their own adaptation of it because they, of course, still have the giant gauntlets on it. But yeah, so I would say 7.5, 8. Like, it's still pretty good. So, no real complaints here. Of course, we have the this is the Adam West suit, I believe, right? Or is this first look? Because it doesn't say for sure. Like, it's kind of marked out. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of strange, to be honest, seeing this like really buff, like that certain Bruce Wayne in this suit. But I mean, it's a classic, suit, of course. I want to say 7. Like, I don't know. It's not a suit that I love. Now, I know what's up next, right? Yep, Brightest Day. So it's really weird at times seeing Batman in a white suit, but the other times we've seen it, of course, is like in the Batman TV show where he's wearing a white kind of Arctic suit going against Mr. Freeze for the first time. In terms of the Brightest Day here, it definitely is a choice, but I will say, even though it is white and it really is odd, I think it works. So we're going to give it 8. Like, this really adapted very well. And even though it's all white, and there's some kind of grayish in there too, to kind of not make it completely 100% just like one color of white. I like how the belt and the actual shorts, if you will, trunks, I guess that's a better word to say, are a little bit of a different color to make it not exactly the same white as the chest and everything. Same thing with the gauntlets, a little bit of a different color there. So yeah, Brightest Day, 8. Okay, Earth 2. Pretty cool. Yeah, so like once again we have the bat symbol blending into the actual cape itself. That overly crazy freaking belt and the pants as well. Like, you can see where like there's buckles down there. It's a decent suit. I like the design. I'll say like a 7.5, 8. We're kind of teetering all on that kind of realm. Trust me, we're gonna get into some ones later on that are definitely lower, but I think this is a 7.5, 8 around there. Earth 2 Dark Knight. Like the red, I think it really works well with the gray and black that they went with too, and the fact that it looks like a little bit of a darker red on the line that goes down at an angle, and the belt as well is kind of matching the bat symbol itself. I think it's decent. I would say another 7.5, 8. Like I said, we're like, I like a lot of these suits, but I don't love them necessarily until we get to later on. So Injustice Batman. This is a suit that I think in the Injustice world works. And I think the adaptation here into Arkham Origins, it works. It's really overplayed. Like, it feels like it's just like an armor suit. Like, there's no real like major design with it. I do like the belt though, like the color of the belt, more like a kind of goldish yellow. I will say probably 8 out of 10. Like, especially in terms of maybe an 8.5. Like, even though it's really armored up and crazy, which makes sense in terms of in the Injustice world, it makes sense. But I think the adaptation works well here, and I do like overall the design of it. Of course, the giant gauntlets still there, giant gauntlets. So we have the two Arkham Asylum suits, which there are only 2. So we have the Batman, we have the armored suit, and then from there I have to move over my camera to make sure we follow up all the city and night. So the traditional Batsuit from Arkham Asylum, like, this is as close to a traditional bat suit as you can probably get. I mean, it's pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna go with a 9 out of 10. I really, really like this suit. And it's a great introduction into the Arkham world, of course, release-wise, because Origins, of course, came later. In the armored version, I think it's in that same realm. I think it's like an 8.5, 9. Like, they both really work for the story and for this world, which is very reminiscent to, of course, trying to get in that same vein of the Batman animated series and getting into that kind of like era of comics as well in terms of the look of Batman, in terms of what they're doing with the characters, of course, Kevin Conroy, all of that. So yeah, these freaking delivered. So let's move the camera over here because we're going to dive into the Arkham. Yep, here we go with the Arkham City, and then we'll get to Knight. So we have the first suit here. Now, I think we're going to be seeing some different poses for them here. So we have the Arkham traditional like city first suit. It definitely is pretty much in line with the Arkham Asylum suit, so it's probably an 8.5, 9 out of 10 around that there. I mean, the suit is pretty much carrying over in a sense, but we'll get to some pretty interesting ones, and we definitely have more thoughts as we continue on here. I'm just keeping track of my OBS to make sure we're dropping frames here and there a little bit, but not too bad. So we have the animated suit. Now, look, to me, the animated suit freaking crushed. It does look a little strange in the Arkham world because it's more cartoony, and I know that they were trying to go for that nostalgia factor. Like, in terms of the suit in the animated series, I would say is probably around a 9.5, but here in the game it looks a little odd, especially in the more realism of Gotham they're trying to do with Arkham City. Yeah, I would definitely say it's probably in the 7.57 because it just looks really strange seeing this more cartoony 3D, like more cartoony-ish Batman alongside, like, if you're going through a game playthrough of the game in this suit. It just doesn't gel well. But I do like the fact that they attempted it. So don't get it twisted. I love the Batman animated series look and all that, and the design of the suit and everything. But in Arkham City, it's not good. It's not that great. So the 70s. So another attempt at, of course, the blue and gray, and I will have to say this definitely works for me, I think, a little bit better than Origins. So I'm going to go with an 8 out of 10. I think this looks better in terms of the color scheme, and the trunks look better in my opinion here. So 8 out of 10 for the 70s. So year one. Not going to lie, I really like this suit. It's very basic. Of course, it's year one, so, you know, of course, it's first year of Bruce being Batman in that story. I'm going to go with an 8.5. Like, I really like the design. It's simple, it's simplistic, but it works. So we're going to go with 8.5. We have a lot of them that are kind of in that same realm. So, you know, I probably say, well, you're ranking a lot of them in the same, you know, kind of register. I get it, but trust me, we're getting to some where we're going to have some questions. Earth 1. So I think overall it's another good suit. I don't preferably like choose it whenever I'm playing Arkham City, but I do like the design of it. I think the cape looks pretty cool, kind of basic as well, but I do like the chest emblem, kind of looks a little bit different. I would say this is probably an 8 out of 10. Another decent, pretty good suit. Now we have, of course, this is the Dark Knight Returns. It says, I don't know why it's under animated again. I wonder if, like, I don't know. But anyways, Dark Knight. So this, of course, is an iconic suit from the comics. I would say this adaptation, I think, worked really well, especially making Bruce a little bit different in his face wearing this suit. We're going to go with a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I think this adaptation really freaking delivered. Yeah, Dark Knight Returns. Yep, really freaking delivered on this suit in terms of its look. So there we have that. 9 out of 10. One of the highest rated ones so far. We're going to get to some ones that I think are overall better. Now, here we go. I was waiting for this. The Batman Beyond suit. We'll wait till the full turn. Round of applause. Round of applause, literally. Round of applause for them attempting to do this. Now, here's my problem. I think the adaptation is there. Like, they're trying to go for the Batman Beyond. However, the face is where it really throws me off, because it feels like he's wearing a skin-tight suit, or more so, he has just become a bat. Right? Like, I don't know. I guess they just didn't know how to adapt it necessarily. Now, we're obviously going to get to more so, like, the actual Batman Beyond attempt in Knight later. But here in City, it just doesn't work for me. Honestly, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I just don't really like the design of it. No. Batman Inc. Once again, kind of in that realm of the one we had like Earth 1 Batman a little bit, where the symbol is a little bit smaller and everything. Another traditional looking Batsuit. I mean, it's nothing really standoutish necessarily. So we're probably going to go with another 8 out of 10 on this, 7.5. Like, it's decent. Sinestro Corp. Now, this is one that I, once again, was surprised that they pulled off, but it makes sense because at a certain point you're running out of, suits you can do that are kind of in the same realm of color scheme. So they kind of switched up Sinestro Corp. I think it adapted very well. We're going 8.5 for this one. I really like Sinestro Corp. Pretty cool stuff on that. Just see this, the kind of adding the suits. Of course, we're going to see a lot more interesting choices when it comes to Knight. But I like the fact that they at least attempted something like this, because it just adds just more variety to what you can do in the game. So here we go. I think we're starting off with a lot of the same kind of suits in terms of like the volumes of like the armored suits. So this suit is freaking awesome. We're going to see a couple variations, and we'll start seeing some of the actual different ones, because throughout the game you're getting upgrades of certain looks, because you're going to see a little bit of a change here. Was like, yeah, volume 8.03. So they're pretty much in the same realm of design, with some small tweaks here and there in terms of the armor pieces and maybe a little bit of a color difference, but it's pretty much in the same line. I think these suits, in terms of these ones where we're seeing small tweaks, they're pretty much in the 8.59 out of 10 realm. Like, they're pretty damn close to perfection. We're getting another one, and of course we're going to get to one with the gold insignia. We'll talk about that more in a second. So this is, like I said, another version of it. It's pretty much, like I said, 8.5, 9 out of 10. Like, they're pretty damn close to being perfect suits, in my opinion, from the game. So next up we have what's called the Prestige Edition, where for you completing 100% with the gold, and like, so the only difference is they add the gold into the symbol. For me personally, I think it was really interesting. There's some people that actually thought it was kind of weird that they added the gold. It's like, that's like you unlock the suit with just the gold added in. But I like the addition, and I think it's still within the 8.59 out of 10 realm, because I like the gold edition. It's just something a little bit different, and I think it's cool that you unlock that. Obviously, with going through so much crap you have to actually unlock to get it, to go through in the game. So okay, let's continue on. New 52. If it'll load, here we go. So I think this looks a little bit different here, adaptation wise. I think the suit looks a little bit better here. I would say it's probably 8.5, 8. It might be still within that same realm of ranking for the original New 52, but I think it looks a little bit better here. I do like the actual armor and like the lines of it and everything, and I do like the actual look of the suits, like how they're actually showing them off here in this game, because it just makes them look a little bit, just, I don't know, it's a little bit nicer look. So we have the 70s Batman suit. Now, of course, we just saw a version of it in City. So for me personally, I think this kind of falls in the same realm of like a 9 out of 10, 8.5 is the City one. They both, I think, just adapted the suit better than Origins in terms of the look of the blue and gray. I just think it just works better here. I just love that blue, man. I love it. Blue's my favorite color, so that makes sense why I love it so much. But we're going to go with that. Blue and gray. Okay, what's next? Batman Noel. Merry Christmas. So again, we're getting this this look again here. So we're seeing another version of it. I think it works as well as here too. There's not much of a change per se. Just might look a little bit better because the graphics are obviously better in Knight than it was in Origins. So we're gonna go with, I think, probably an 8.5. It looks pretty good. Batman Inc. Going global. Okay. So once again, another suit we've already seen before, but I think it adapted pretty well here. I think that adding the, I don't know, just like, it looks like they added a little bit more of like color in the actual like look of it here, because it was more plain, but I think it's just due to the graphics making it look a little bit better in terms of like the shine and everything. But I think 8 out of 10. Again, Flashpoint. This to me is one of the coolest suits that they've ever done for Batman. I really like this. We're going with a 9 out of 10. I really like Flashpoint. Really like that. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. All the red. You just see this more detail in the Knight game. So just see more variety in the suits. But we got some interesting ones coming up. Of course, you Keaton. Got to have Keaton's Batman. So we're talking specifically how it looks in the game, not so much the suit in the movies. But in terms of adaptation, this is definitely one of the better adaptations of movie suits in Arkham Knight in the Arkham games. But yes, Arkham Knight. We're gonna go with a 9. This freaking delivered. Like, this freaking adaptation crushed. In my opinion, it crushes. So yeah, we're going 9 out of 10. It's pretty damn cool. Love that. What's next? Arkham Origins Batman. So we're going back to Arkham Origins here, and I think the adaptation works really well. Obviously, he looks a little bit different. The gauntlets are more of like a gray silver kind of color for the rest of the suit, but I think the adaptation works really well. We're gonna go with an 8.5, 8.5 around there, because it's basically the same suit, right? It's just adapting it and taking it from Origins and acknowledging it. Iconic gray and black, heir to the cow. So I like, and the belt is so cool. Like, I love the belt, love the design of that. For me, like, I get it. It's a brighter gray. It just kind of throws me off a little bit. Like, I feel like the very dark, deep black and the brighterish gray kind of, it just doesn't work for me. I'm gonna go with a 7 in terms of the look. I maybe if the gray was a little bit more darker in some spots, maybe they would have just maybe colored it a little bit differently. I think it would work better, because the look just kind of throws me off. First appearance. So the first ever look. So this was, okay, first appearance. It wasn't Adam West. So first appearance Batman. So the purple gloves are strange, but it is what it is. That was the first look back then. It looks kind of odd seeing this Bruce wearing the suit. So it does look kind of strange to see this very, not, I mean, it's Batman, but it's a very different time for Batman when the suit first appeared. Of course, it was the first ever appearance, but like time wise, it's okay. I'd say 7, 6.5. Like, I don't hate it. It's just, it looks kind of strange on this Bruce Wayne wearing it. Like, it just looks really strange in that sense. Like, I don't know, kind of odd. So now Batman Beyond 9 edition, which of course is more armored base. So instead of going the whole thing where you see his whole entire face and the expressions, it's now like a mask, kind of like, in a way, kind of like Red Hood a little bit in terms of the mask and everything. Now, it's over armored to shit. I'm not sure why exactly they decided to make this version of Beyond very armor based. But I will say, even though it's not my favorite suit, I do give them another round of applause for attempting something a little bit different with the look of Batman Beyond, because their first attempt in City just wasn't good. I would say this is probably a 7.5. Like, I don't love it, but at least they tried to do something different with another attempt at doing the Batman Beyond suit, because they probably thought, well, we want to incorporate it into our final Batman game, but what do we do? We've already attempted it once, so the armor way, so it works. Dark Knight Returns. So this is another attempt at this suit. I think this version also works as well. I think we're gonna go 8.5, 9. Like, it really freaking crushes. Like, this suit is iconic for a lot of reasons, and I think the adaptation here works pretty well. So I was so excited they did this. It's so strange, but I think it works pretty well. It at times it can, depending on what you're doing in the game, wearing the suit, it does look a little strange, but I give them another round of applause for bringing this suit into the game. We're gonna go with 8. I think it overall works. Yeah, that sometimes adapting suits from comics and shit into the games works, and other times it's better than others, but I think this is definitely one of the more interesting ones they attempted, and I'm glad they did. Anime Batman. So, like, I think it's okay. I don't love it. I think the chest piece connected to the cape, I think, is, we've seen this a couple times in the way they did it here. But the back piece behind his neck is kind of throwing me off, and the gauntlets look a little, I don't know. Like, we've seen some bulky, of course, in the freaking Arkham Origins, the bulky freakiness of the of the gauntlets. But yeah, I wish they would have. I don't know. Maybe this look just kind of doesn't really work for me too much. We'll go with a 7, maybe a 6.5. Like, yeah, it's okay. Now, here we go. So, I think the suit looks pretty good. Like, The Dark Knight. Like, look, that movie gets a lot of praise for, freaking Joker, of course, Heath Ledger. I do like the design of the suit. Like, it's not like the best, but I think the adaptation here, I mean, I was surprised at how like solid it looks here in the game. They definitely had to make Bruce skinnier to make it work. But we're going to go with an 8 out of 10. I think 8 out of 10 works for this. So, pretty good adaptation. But I think the Keaton one's definitely better. 2016, we have Batman v Superman. We're going with another 9 on this. We're going with a 9. Like, I really love the fact that they did this, and it works so well in game. Like, I played quite a bit of Arkham Knight, like replaying the game and stuff and just doing random shit in the suit because of how good it looks. I think this is the final one here. We have the original Arkham Asylum. Freaking awesome. Love that they brought it back. We'll go with another 9. You know, I think most of the suits, as we've seen here, most of the suits work. Some better than others, but I think this suit worked for Arkham Asylum. It's been a long day. And most suits worked, as you guys saw. Like, I ranked most of them probably in the 8 to 9 realm, because most of the suits I think work pretty well in the games that they're a part of. Some not so much, but at least they attempted them and tried them, because not every suit that they did is going to work, right? Not every suit that they did is going to adapt and work well, but for the most part they succeeded in terms of the designs they went with, and when they actually executed them, when they actually chose what suits they were going to use, it worked. So yeah, overall, pretty good stuff here. I really enjoyed seeing these suits again. Some of them I don't remember them being in the games, but it was cool taking a trip down memory lane in a way to rank and discuss some of these suits and all of that. So if you guys want to see more of these kind of videos, let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.